Good morning. Good morning. Many years ago, my husband and I bought our first home. We were so excited because we had been renting for quite a few years. And so here we were ready to purchase our first home. And we were excited because we couldn't believe this house we were getting and what we were going to pay for it. And we were just like, wow, this is wonderful. But we did not count the cost of owning our own home. No one had really told us about, or maybe we just didn't get it, about the fact that if something breaks, you have to pay for it, about the taxes, the insurance, about all the little costs, about how even our electric and our gas, it went up because we were in this house and we just did not count the cost. And so as you can imagine, that soon became an issue for us, not counting the cost. Today in my reading in Luke 14, Jesus warns us about counting the cost. He says to us, if we're going to be his disciple, we have to count the cost. And oftentimes we make decisions in life and we don't count the cost. Let me read Luke 14 to you, verses 26 to 33. Jesus says, if you want to be my disciple, you must, by comparison, hate everyone else. Your father, your mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters. Yes, even your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. And if you do not carry your own cross and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money. And then everyone would laugh at you. They would say, there's the person who started the building and couldn't afford to finish it. Or what king would go to war against another king without first sitting down with his counselors to discuss whether his army of 10,000 could defeat the 20,000 soldiers marching against him? And if he can't, he will send a delegation to discuss terms of peace while the enemy is still far away. So you cannot become my disciple without giving up everything you own. We must count the cost. Billy Graham once said, salvation is free, but discipleship costs everything you have. Jesus is saying we have to be willing to give up everything in order to be his disciple. Are we willing to do that? Have you counted the cost? Did you think this was just an easy road? Did you think following Jesus was easy? He's saying not so. Count the cost. Are you willing to give up everything? It's like that house we purchased. We did not count the cost. By the time we purchased our second home many years later, we knew what to calculate into the cost. We knew what to consider. We knew what sacrifices would have to be made. When you follow Jesus, there's a sacrifice that you have to make. There's a cross that you have to carry, a cross that you have to bear. Remember verse 28. But don't begin until you count the cost. Saints, what I want to remind you of this morning is that we must count the cost. There is a price to be paid. Romans 12:1 says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. We have to present our bodies a sacrifice to God, willing to give up our own lives. And remember 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17. Once you do that, you're a new creation. right? You're going to take off all this old stuff and put on new clothing. But there is a cost. So when you decide to become a discipleship of Jesus Christ, don't take that choice lightly. It is the most wonderful choice you will ever make. But make sure you count the cost. Have a blessed day.